I'm so done with 2024, guys. If I can summarize my 2024 in one word, within 2 hours, they sent me the rejection email. And this is my toxic trait. I just couldn't do it anymore. Girl, what are you doing? Get out of there. I was so not okay. The update is that I am starting. Hi guys, Victoria here. Welcome to my channel. It is almost Christmas time, so in today's video I'm going to wrap Christmas presents for my family and friends. And while doing that, and you are going to join me, I'm going to show you what I got for my relatives as well as my closest friends for Christmas. While I'm wrapping those presents, I'm also going to give you an update on my life. I'm going to reflect on 2024 since 2025 is just around the corner, and I am just going to chit chat, talk to you about my life, let you know what happened with me in 2024 and kind of wrap it up. I'm wrapping the presents, but I'm also wrapping 2024 up. I am so done with 2024, guys. I have to tell you, 2024 was not my year, so I am very much ready for the next year. Honestly, I have no plan. I was thinking about what I want to talk about with you guys, but I didn't really think through the concept of this wrapping thing. I have wrapping paper, I have some of these paper bags which are for certain presents. Actually, I have all the presents that I currently already have around me. There are a few missing, so you're not gonna see everyone's gifts this year. Last year I made a video of what I got for Christmas, but I also made a video of what I gave for Christmas for my family and friends. So if you are still looking for last minute gift ideas, then I can link last year's video for you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna show you everything and let's have a chatty video. So I'm gonna start with just putting together kind of a gift box, but it's gonna be a gift bag or a bag of small gifts to a few of my friends here in Vienna, let's say my closest friends in Vienna. This year I decided to not think about like one big gift to get them, but I started already in August just to pick up things when I see them that I think that they would like, and then I decided to just like create a personalized gift bag for each of them. They have some items which are similar or the same for more than one of them. In the past few years I have been reusing Christmas paper bags and like wrapping, also even wrapping paper. In 2020, when we had all that time during the pandemic, I collected all the wrapping paper and all the paper bags and the Christmas related things into one place, and I had so many things that I didn't have to buy anything for 2020, 2021 and 2022. And then last year I finally had to buy some wrapping paper. This is so dusty because it was just on top of my wardrobe the whole year since last year. So last year I got this 3-pack with some bows and I was using them, but obviously I still have a lot of that left, so I'm gonna use that. And then when I decided to give a paper bag of gifts for my friends, I didn't realize that actually I have run out of all Christmas paper bags that I could possibly use for this purpose, so I needed to get some new ones. And I was dreading it because I was like, these paper bags can be so expensive, it's impossible, and it's really overpriced. Depending on where you buy them, but I know that there are certain stores where you can get some which may not be super high quality or may not be super nice design, but are definitely cheaper. But then I went to the supermarket Hofer the other day and I was just thinking, okay, let me take a look, maybe they have the size or maybe they have paper bags by chance, and guess what? They did, and they are actually very cute and pretty. Let me show you. And they were very cheap. I mean, considering how expensive they can be. So I I knew that I cannot use the small ones, I needed bigger ones, and I think this is exactly the perfect size. I got two packs, so these two were together. Very cute, I think, the design, very pretty. I love the green. These are my colors. I love these colors. I think the design is beautiful. And one package of two was 199 euros. I think you cannot beat that price. Even if you go to Kik or Pepco, I believe, I mean, I haven't really been looking around, but I don't think you can beat 199 for two. That's less than €1 each. And they are actually very cute. So, and then I got another pack, one which had a penguin on it, and the other one which has the reindeer antlers with the lights around it. And maybe I should have bought some more, you know, thinking about the future already, like planning for the next years. But actually, unfortunately, they only had one pack of this one, and I prefer this design. I think this is the best. They had a few more of these, and then they had one more which was a bit more colorful, and one of them had a snow bear on it. It was a bit too colorful, so this is more up my alley. So I'm gonna put my friends' Christmas gifts in this. So I have 3 friends that I have prepared these gift bags for, or I am preparing the gift bags for. So let's start with my first friend. I already kind of prepared everything here per person. So basically what I need to do now is just put everything into the bags, and that's it. So the first person, I am gifting her a teacup, and it still has the price on it, so I better remove that. It's actually not so easy. Okay, that's good enough. She doesn't or won't see how much it cost. So it's a very cute teacup with some flowers on it. It's just a nice design. It's cute, but it is actually also a tea. What do you call it? Like a tea strainer. There is an insert where you can put your tea. I suppose you could even try maybe with coffee. I'm not sure because the holes are pretty big. So I guess it's more for like loose leaf tea. And then you put your loose leaf tea here, you put this here, and then you can actually put a little top on it, which also has the same design as the cup itself. I think it's very cute. And for someone who likes to drink tea, I think it can be very practical, especially for the winter time. So this is what I got for one of my friends. And I was thinking of maybe potentially wrapping in a gift wrapping paper some of the bigger gifts within the box, but I think it's just a bit too difficult to wrap something like this. Like the shape is just difficult to wrap. So I think I'm just gonna put this in here like that, or maybe I will wrap it in like newspaper just for it to not to break, because I will have to go by bike to meet my friend and then it might be like whooping around and then hitting the bike or something. So I might actually do that. That's a good idea. And actually I can just use this paper for it, just to keep it safe, because yeah, porcelain and ceramic things tend to break, and glass things as well, obviously, but I'm not gifting anything glass this year. Well, I might, but I don't have anything just yet. Then, what else did I get for her? I got for her a hand cream from DM, a Balea hand cream. This is a very inexpensive, affordable hand cream, but I noticed that my friend uses hand cream quite a lot, so I figured she could make use of this, and this is for sensitive hands, minimal ingredients one, so I think she'll like it. I actually also got another Balea product, which is hand peeling and hand mask. So it has like 2 parts. One part is peeling and then the other part is a mask. So maybe during the holidays when she has some time, she can like use this and like relax with some hand mask on. In the winter time when our hands get like super dry, it could be something nice to do that you would probably not get for yourself normally. You would not think about something like this, but as a gift, I think it's nice to try things that you would not buy for yourself. This is why I got that. I also got her a tea. Actually, this is not a loose leaf tea, so I should have thought about that. Maybe I will change it around actually. because then it would make sense to give her, because I also got loose leaf tea, but I wanted to give this to another friend, but actually it would make more sense since I got her the tea cup in which you can make the loose leaf tea, that I give her actually a loose leaf tea, and this is like a relax tea. It's a big package actually. I also got this in DM. It's like a herbal tea mix for relaxation, so I'm gonna get her that, or give her that. And then I got her a little, it's like a little chocolate. This is also from DM actually. It's vegan and bio. It's milk, nuts and gluten and plastic free, and it has not only a little chocolate, but it also has a small gift, like a Christmas paper, probably made of paper, kind of a decoration piece or something like that. It's like a Christmas figure, so it could be like a snowman, like here you can see, made of paper that you can like put together and put it on your desk or on a shelf or something. So it's just like a cute little thing. And I also have this is just basil seeds actually, so all of my friends will get one of these just because I have a few of them that I got for free at an event, and I just want to, you know, share this with my friends. So this is the last thing that she's getting. And here we go. The first package is done. I have this star where you can write her name on it and Merry Christmas, and ready to go. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one for my next friend, the penguin one. And what did I get for my next friend? So her big gift, so the biggest gift in the package is gonna be a scarf with horses on them. My friend, she has a horse and she loves horses and she likes riding horses and all that. She's a horse person, so I got her this scarf. I actually didn't take a look, I didn't research it, but the brand is Gabrielli. I'm pretty sure this scarf is made of polyester, it's not silk, but it's still like it has nice colors, muted colors, and of course, basically it's just the horses that really caught my attention. I hope that she'll like it and she'll actually wear it. Let's see. I'm thinking that maybe this I could wrap it up in a, because it's easy to wrap it up in a wrapping paper, so I'm gonna do that actually. She's also getting basil seeds. Then I also got her another product from DM, a Balea hand cream, and this is with a pink pomelo smell. Because a few years ago from Body Shop I had a pink pomelo shower gel, and when she saw it she was like, oh, I really love the smell of this, can I wash my hand with it? And I was like, yeah, of course, go ahead. And then at some point, because I had a huge bottle, at some point I really got fed up with the smell of it. So I still had like 1/4 of the product left, and I was like, you know what, do you want it? Because I really hate the smell by now. So I gave it to her and she loves it. So I figured, I don't know if this smells similar to that or not. It should, because it's the same fruit. But I figured since she likes this smell, and this is very practical for a hand cream, I think. And it's winter time, everyone has dry hands, so she can also bring it to her office with her, have it on her desk. So I think this is very cute. She's the one now who is going to get the body positivity tea. It's also herbal tea. I also got her an essential oil with cinnamon smell, so that she can enjoy some Christmas atmosphere in her apartment. And I also got her a face mask, this like sheet mask that you can put on. This is also from Balea, from DM, and it is like a pumpkin spice latte one, so maybe it's not really for this season, but yeah, I already got it earlier this year, and I guess you can still use something which smells like pumpkin spice and cinnamon during the winter time. So I got her one of these. I hope that she will use it. She's very particular about what she puts on her skin. That's why I usually stay away from getting face products or hair products for people, because some people are just very particular, me included. So I know that if I got some cosmetic products, I would probably not use them. But this is something that I like to give as gifts, and people tend to like them usually, because it's not something that you have to commit to use every day over and over again. This is something you use once and that's it. Okay, I'm gonna have to wrap this one in a minute. But first, let me put together the box of my third friend. So my third friend, she's getting a thick, warm, at-home socks, or these socks that you can wear at home in the winter season. I hope it will fit her. She has quite big feet, but this is a one size socks and it has the price on it, which I should probably cross out because I don't want her to see how much I spent on her. I hope it will fit her. Actually, this one is also going to my second friend, the chocolate. And then my third friend is also going to get a sheet mask. I have gifted her sheet masks before and she always likes them, so she will definitely will be happy to have that. And she's also getting a hand peeling and hand mask. And then she's also getting the tea. This is the Harmony herbal tea. She likes to drink tea in the winter. She's also getting a pack of basil seeds. And since she's gluten-free, I got her a baking mix, and this is particularly to make these vanilla little half moons or whatever you call them. Yeah, we call them Kipferl in Austria because obviously she cannot eat the one which is made with normal flour, and this is specifically, like, it has the recipe and everything is specifically made to make this, and this is something that is very popular to be made for Christmas both in Austria and Hungary actually. So I hope that she will like it and she will make it maybe with her mom during the Christmas time. I will wrap her socks just to have like a hint of surprise in the bag. Okay, so I was telling you that 2024 was not my year, and if I can summarize my 2024 in one word or with one expression, I would say this year was the year of letting go for me. I had to learn to let go of people and things and ideas, especially ideas this year, and I think I got better at it. But it was definitely a learning curve for me. I am someone who is really attached to people and ideas if I like something, and it's hard to accept if it doesn't work out for me because I feel like I deserve it. I feel like I did enough, or I worked hard enough for the things or the people or the admiration or the love of people around me, and it's difficult to not get what you want, obviously. And this year it's been a lot. Honestly, look, nothing huge has happened in my life. I didn't lose anyone due to them passing away, for example, and a lot of people go through a loss of their loved ones. Some people lose their partners or their parents or sisters, brothers, whatever. And luckily I didn't have to face that and process that this year. But I had other situations and people or other ways that I had to let go. So the year started out already in the beginning of February. I had to let go of my relationship at that time. I thought it was a relationship, let's put it this way. Then reflecting back later on, I realized, or I learned that it wasn't really a relationship, it was more of a situationship. And I liked the person very much, so I had to let go of the person as well, but mostly I had to let go of the idea and the image and fantasy that I had in my head about what we could be with this person. I have anxious attachment style, and this person was triggering my attachment style quite badly, so I learned a lot from this relationship situationship about how to be more assertive and how to also listen to my intuition and listen to myself and my gut and my feelings, and to not let people use me and utilize me in a way that doesn't serve me. This situation, it was a long process, and I was delusional enough to make things worse for myself by reconnecting with this person over the summer, and it was a disaster. The universe was like, girl, what are you doing? Get out of there. Don't get yourself in this situation. Leave immediately. This is not for you. You need to be stronger, maybe, yes. But also the universe was giving me hard lessons and signs like, okay, well, you have not listened to your own self. You have not listened to what you promised to yourself. You have not been strong enough. So I'm gonna show you in a different way why or how you should stay away from this person. I not only had to let go of this person once in February and process, losing this person once, but I kind of fell back and had to go through letting go in a different way again in the summer, which was even harder. It was a shorter period, but it was very intense. I was so not okay in July when this whole thing went down, with me reconnecting and then being hit in the face. One thing that I definitely learned is that I need to, and I knew this before and I did this before, but I should do complete no contact with the people who don't want me in their life in order for me to be able to move on and let go. That is just the best way, and it might take some time for me personally, but at the same time, there is just no better way to do this. It might take time, but time will help. Time does definitely help. Time heals. It just, for me, maybe personally, it takes a bit longer than for a normal person. I think that was one of the lessons of this year. And then in April, May time, my parents announced that they found a house that they are going to buy and move, and they are selling the house where I grew up. Basically, they moved into that house where I grew up just before I was born. So I grew up there. I spent the first 19 years of my life living there. And then I always went back there to visit, even though I wasn't living there long term anymore after I was 19. But I did spend sometimes longer periods of time, even months at a time there in between projects or during summer holidays, during university times. And this house where I grew up had a 34-year history in my life. And then this year I also had to let go of that. My parents moved on, and I also had to let go of a lot of the memories obviously I don't let go of, but just like the place and the space, which I felt wasn't so difficult as long as I don't start thinking about it or reminiscing about it. I can get pretty sad about it. But I knew that it actually was a good decision. It made sense. My parents are downsizing, moved to a smaller house, which is only one story, less rooms, less newer, so maybe easier to maintain, or it requires maybe less maintenance, less attention. I mean, initially, as they were moving in, it required a lot of attention and a lot of facelift, but essentially, long term, it does make a lot of sense for them to move into this new place. Still, it's a big change. Even though I was not living there for a long time now, it was still the home where I grew up and I spent most of my life. I never lived so long anywhere else so far or until now. So yeah, this year I also had to let go of my childhood home. And then the next thing was something that I have been talking about on my channel many times, especially last year, not so much this year, because this year I haven't made those monthly check-in videos with you guys or monthly planning videos. There was one thing last year that I had on my annual goals list, and it was to figure out what to do with my career. And it didn't happen last year. I couldn't figure it out. Maybe I also was distracted and didn't have time to actually think about it and put too much thought into it. Last year was the first time in a very long time when I actually had a little bit of time to do other things, not just work, to put my focus on other things and take a break a little bit. And I was just enjoying the break too much for me to put focus and attention on thinking about my career. So I kind of had a break, and during that break I was not motivated enough. I did look at job postings and I did apply to a few jobs in September, October time last year, but unfortunately I didn't even get an interview out of all those applications. So I was also a bit scared. I was discouraged to continue because I was like, why am I not even getting an interview out of all these applications? This is so bad. And I started to feel like unsupported and started to feel like, okay, it's gonna be harder than I thought to find a different job. And so I kind of went back to my career that I had before, and I kind of accepted a position out of need for an income, a steady income, and kind of out of desperation. I accepted a position that I didn't really want, which was a 10 months position or 9.5 months position. So it was supposed to be until the end of October, but it was not exactly, or not directly related to what I used to do, or not my area of expertise. And I didn't feel supported in this position. I didn't enjoy working in this position. It was basically just for the money, but it gave me an extra time, 10 months of leeway of not having to think about my career. But then, of course, time was coming up, and this project helped me to decide that I really am ready to move on from my past career and all the things that I used to do before, and I really don't want to work in sport event industry, and I really don't want to work with sport events anymore because it doesn't bring me joy anymore, and it doesn't make me fulfilled. I didn't feel valued. I didn't get anything out of it other than a little bit of financial security. But even the finance part, even the income that I earned with it was honestly shit. It was actually very bad. And my income actually, since I became self-employed and I was working on these projects, plummeted compared to what it was before. So financially, it just didn't make sense for me to do this, to keep doing this. And not only financially, but kind of like I lost my passion for it. I lost interest. I didn't feel appreciated. I didn't feel the motivation. It didn't excite me anymore. I just didn't have all the feelings that I used to have around working at sport events. It just helped me to really make the final decision that this was it. And then I started to figure out again, like, okay, what else can I do with the skills that I have, with the competencies and the experiences that I gained from working at sport events? What else can I do? And I got into the job search again in a way that I had no clue. And fairly early on into the search, me starting to search for positions, I found some interesting positions, which are positions at universities, which are administrative, organizational positions, a little bit of like events, like student events or conferences, a little bit of administration, website maintenance, data management, organization of travels, these kind of things, which I thought, okay, this actually kind of matches what I have already done in the past. So I do have certain experience. Of course, that my experience is not specific to universities, so there is also things that I can learn and areas where I can grow and challenge myself and develop. and these also seemed to be like kind of secure jobs at universities. So I started to apply to some of these positions already back in September. Like throughout the time, I just kept going to all the universities' websites in Vienna. There are many universities here, and they all had very similar positions. And the best thing about these positions is that actually a lot of them are part-time, 20 hours a week. So it's like half-time, part-time positions. At first, I also applied to full-time positions, and I even had interviews. I finally was invited for my first interview maybe 2-3 weeks after I submitted my first application. And I was just so happy that, oh, finally I got invited for a job interview. But then it was so stressful, like to prepare for a job interview, and this whole process of going to interviews was very stressful for me. But as I continued on this journey, I submitted, 15 to 20 applications. I was invited to 6 interviews, and they were all like in-person interviews and mostly in German. So this whole process, I got more comfortable with it and I got better at it. And I also kind of over time also learn more about what I want. So at first I still applied for full-time positions, and then later on, I decided, I don't want to give up my other part-time job that I already had since 2.5 years. I'm working at an association part-time, which is completely remote, super flexible. And I came to the conclusion that I don't want to give that job. And I would like to have another part-time job next to that for financial security. Working at universities in administration is actually the best place for me personally where I could find a part-time job, because they have a lot of part-time job positions. So as I said, I applied to many of them. Let me show you quickly what I got for my father, and then I will wrap that and I will continue the story. So my father is going to get a sweater. I got him 2. One is this green one. This is thinner and it's a bit more nicer, more like dressier, maybe, for a dinner or when he wants to appear or look put together. I really like the color. It is 100% cotton. So I ordered him this, and I ordered him these half price, I think, during Black Friday. And I'm hoping that basically the plan is that I got him 2 and he will just choose one and then I will send back the other one. But if he wants to keep both of them, he can also do that. So basically the point is that I can flexibly send these back still after Christmas in case it doesn't fit him, or in case he doesn't like them or doesn't want them. So this was the first one, and then I got another one which is a bit less dressier and more like everyday kind of sweater, which is this blue one. It's a bit thicker as well. Kind of, it's for a different purpose, I would say. It has this like quarter zip, which I like that style. But let's see which one he likes, and then we'll see what happens. So going back to my story about the applications, basically I was more and more drawn to wanting to work at universities in these positions. It seemed like a secure job. It seemed like a job that I could confidently do, and I have the skill set for it more or less, and there is still something that I can learn, but it's maybe not gonna be too stressful. And one of the main things is that I would work mostly in German. Also, like, it requires also English usually, because they always have like international environments at universities. They have like guest lecturers, they have international students that you have to deal with. So English is always a requirement, but German is usually the main language. And my German is not as good as my English, but I would like to get way more confident with my German as I am now. I can speak German, I just switched to English, and this is my toxic trait. You can speak to me in German, you can speak to me in Spanish, I will understand, and I will reply in English. Because it's just too much effort to reply in German, or in Spanish, that's even worse. So yeah, I would like to get my German back or up to a level where I feel super confident with it. That's my main goal. And then of course, like trying myself in a different field, different area, and if I like it, there is space to grow. I can always look for other opportunities at other universities which are maybe a little bit like higher level. I don't know, I feel like this is the way to go for me right now. So I was excited to find an area which I find interesting and where I can imagine myself and where I think I can do a good job and also not dread having to go to work every day, which I did feel like that at my last job where I was working full-time. At some point I was just dreading to go to work in the morning. When I was getting ready, I was like, I don't want to go. That's not a good feeling, guys. So yes, I let go of my career in a sense, and I'm ready to try myself in a different field, and I'm excited that I found an area that I feel excited about and comfortable with. And so basically the life update is that finally, after 4 months or 3 months of submitting applications, going on interviews, getting rejected, guys, at some point I submitted an application, and this was not in a university but at a corporate job. I submitted an application and within 2 hours they sent me the rejection email. I received so many rejections that it was very difficult to stay positive and keep up the momentum of, okay, let's keep applying, let's keep going to interviews. It was like a up and down curve of almost giving up, taking breaks. Actually, the last time when I submitted 5 applications in a batch was during a 2-week period when I actually said, I am not going to think about this, I'm not going to apply anywhere. And then I met up with one of my friends and we were working from a coffee together, and then I was like, okay, that's just gonna be my one day. There will be a few hours that I am going to spend in this coffee with my friend, and the point is that we are working together. So I'm gonna focus that few hours on submitting applications, and that's it. I'm not gonna submit any applications throughout those whole 2 weeks at all, except for that like 2-3 hour period. And during this period, I submitted 5 applications, and out of the 5 applications, I got 3 interviews, which is like, it's a very good outcome, honestly. It was, I think, my best, it's the best return on investment, let's say, or best percentage of getting an interview out of my applications was at that time. Out of 5, I got 3 interviews. 2 of them were at the University of Economics and Business in Vienna, where I already been to an interview before, and one of them was at the Vienna University itself. And the first one, I was disappointed because based on the job description, it did have event management and working with events and organizing events in the job description, but it was among like 5 other or 4 other areas of tasks. So I thought, okay, maybe it is like 20-25% of events, and then otherwise it's, other tasks. But then I went to the interview and it turned out it was 80% or 75% event work. And I was very disappointed because, as I said, I didn't want to work at events. So I was like, And then I still had to be at the interview for 45 minutes, plus I had to do an exercise after that for another half an hour, when I already knew that I don't want this job. And it was also it was my hardest interview as well, because they were really hooked up on how am I going to prioritize having 2 part-time jobs, and what if, scheduling wise it doesn't work out, and they are very worried that like I would not be able to manage my time. And I'm like, organizing things and managing my time is the one thing or the 2 things that I'm confident about, and I'm good at it. I always get everything done that I commit to. So I'm not a lazy person and I'm very good at time management. So when they were like kind of attacking me for wanting to have 2 part-time jobs, which is like unheard of apparently. I don't know how people survive with just 1 part-time job, but apparently they do. Anyway, that was a bad experience. But then I had last week another 2 interviews, and the first one, which was at the University of Vienna, I applied for one of the positions, but apparently they had 2 positions, both the same. It's just one is in one area of the institute and the other one is on the other area. One is under one of the professors and the other one is under the other professor in the institute. But they are both part-time and they have both the same job description, and they called me and they were like, would you be open to have the interview joined, and then both professors would be there, and then basically you have a double chance of getting hired because there are 2 open positions and you would be interviewed for both at the same time. And I was like, yeah, that's great, sounds amazing. I love that actually, of being able to have an interview for 2 positions at the same time. It's like going on a date with 2 guys at the same time, you know, which I also did this year, by the way. Accidentally. So I had the interview. It was very short, only 20 minutes, and I felt like the interview went well, but it was very quickly, abruptly ended by one of the professors. So I was like, this is strange. He decided that I'm not gonna be the one to be selected, and I didn't have a good feeling about the fact that he ended it so abruptly. And then 2 days later, they called me that I got one of the positions. So I got offered a position at the University of Vienna, but at the same time, on that day, in the afternoon, I had another interview at the University of Economics and Business. And to be completely honest, based on the job description and just based on how, when the professor called me for this interview at the University of Economics and Business, a short talk, I was like very excited about this position, and I was like, okay, this would be a better fit for me, and I think if I could, I would prefer this one if I could get it. So I went to the interview. I actually had to prepare some exercises for this interview. I spent my whole weekend preparing it, and I really was like, I need to do this properly and well because I really want this job. Suddenly I really wanted this position. I was really drawn to it, and I thought, yes, this is my position. This is what I want. And I went to the interview, and I had a great time. I think it was my best interview ever. It was super long. It was scheduled for 1.5 hours. It ended up being more than 2 hours long. The professor introduced me to some of his peers, some of his team. I think they are postdoc assistants or professors, or I don't know how to call that. Postdoc associates, not sure. And I really enjoyed it, and I thought that the professor was a very nice person, very reflected. He is very organized. He has a very good style of, like, also not only working style, but just with dealing people or in dealing people with people. So I really got excited about this. And so I got the job offer from the other place already before my interview. And I told the other place, I am very excited. I'm very happy that I got the position, but I need a few days to decide, because I honestly told them that I am having another interview, and I would like to, make a decision knowing what are my options and understanding the full situation. And I was hopeful after the interview, and I told the professor, look, I already have a job offer in the pocket, let's say, and I would love if you could give me an update or an indication whether or not I should, keep myself available by Monday, the latest, which is tomorrow. If you could, like, unofficially tell me, if I should hang on and not accept the other position, or like if I'm still being considered, or if not, because if not, I will accept the other position, but my preference would be this position. So I honestly told him that, and he was very supportive. He said, yeah, he understands, and he congratulated me for the other position, and we had a good time on the interview and had a very good conversation. And then the next day in the afternoon he called me, but I missed the call, and then the next time we could talk was a day after, and he told me that, well, I knew that he had 70 applications and that they were very strong. Like all the applicants, or many of the applicants, were strong. He told me that already before. I knew that he interviewed 5 people, and I knew that there was the last interview was on Friday, mine was on Wednesday. And on Thursday he called me, which I should have already known. That means, given that he has one more person to interview, that because he called me, that can only mean one thing, and the one thing is that I will not be his first choice, because otherwise he could not call me and tell me you're gonna get the job, given that he had one more interview lined up. So basically he told me that there is still one more interview, but I would be like, I am second on his priority list. I would be his second choice right now. So that means that I should probably go with the other position, because the likelihood of me receiving this job is not so high, considering that it will be offered to another person first, and if that person accepts it, then obviously I will be rejected. I was disappointed. And yet again, I had to let go. I had to let go of the idea that I built up in my head about this position and how I would feel in this position, what I would do, how it would work, going to work every day to the University of Economics and Business. And I actually have friends who study there. And I had a coffee with my friend after my interview, and it was so cool. I could hang out with her, sometimes, and I just already had this fantasy in my head about what it could be for me to work there, and also the name of the position, it just sounded so cool. By the way, I packed this without showing you what it was. I'm sorry. 2 picture frames for my parents for their new living room, to the area where they can display photos and other things. So I got this in TK Maxx, and it goes with their color in the living room, which is green. So once again, I had to let go of the idea of me working at the University of Economics and Business and in this particular position. I already decided before that I'm going to accept the other position if I don't get this one, even though I'm definitely not as excited about it as I was about this other position. It is still definitely, gonna be a challenge, but at the same time, it still has potential, let's put it this way. And when I applied for the job, I was excited about the position itself, It's just that somehow something better came up. I always say, when it comes to dating, in today's world, people have this false assumption or false feeling or presumption that there's just so many people out there and they have access to any of them, and if they commit to someone, then they would have to let go of the idea of someone else that they could potentially have, who would be maybe a better match, or who would be the perfect match. And maybe this is also the case like that, where I imagine this other position being the perfect position for me, and I got excited about it, and I had this image in my head about it. But it would have been maybe super stressful. It could have been horrible for me, that position. I could have hated it as well. You never know. It's the typical case where you have to let go of the idea you have about what things could be rather than what it actually is. This was the last thing that was like this for me this year, that I had to let go of the idea of this job that I somehow built up in my head an image about, or an idea about, that it could be amazing for me and great, and I would love it. Maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't. I will never know, and I will have the chance to figure out in another position whether or not that is the one for me. So the update is that I am starting as of January to work at the University of Vienna part-time, and I'm excited about it. Okay, so the next The next thing I'm going to wrap is this one. This is a purse for my mom. It's very fancy. I also got this half price on Black Friday. This is how it looks like. It's red. Apparently red attracts money, and this is why I got this for my mom, but I'm not sure. I might have to send this back because like it's very hard to open it. I don't like that. Why is it so difficult? Yeah, but this is how it looks. This is the style that she prefers. So basically this is why I got this for her. I don't like the fact that it's so hard to open it. Okay, what else did I have to let go of in 2024? So at the end of August, I met someone, I was dating, and I met someone who I really liked. It was kind of weird in a way that I never dated someone like this person, personality-wise. And while I was reflecting and learning about myself, and after my recent breakup and the realizations that I came to, and the things that I learned about myself and what I would want in a partner and what I'm looking for now after my last experiences with men and all that, I actually changed my approach about dating. I became more intentional, and so it became harder. Being more intentional about dating and expressing unapologetically what you are looking for and what you want, and just not accepting less than what you want and what you deserve. It can be pretty difficult because it scares people away, and it also it overall just makes it harder to find that person, because the pool that you are working with is way smaller, because the kind of person that you are looking for is now so particular that it's gonna be more difficult to find it. And suddenly there was this man who matched all the boxes, who fit into all what I was looking for, and he was amazing, he was great. I was telling my friends, I don't know, where is the catch? I was looking for the catch. I was like, this cannot be real. Something must be off, because this is too good to be true. And I was right, because turned out that this man was a narcissistic, love-bombing asshole who, in all likelihood, I don't know for a fact, I really don't know who this person was. I am even doubting that I know his real name, and I am wondering how much of our short dating phase was a lie and how much of it was actually true. But basically, we came to the conclusion with most of my friends and my therapist and the people that I talked to about my experience, was that in all likelihood this person is married and has a family. And once again, I had this image in my head about this person and what it could be, and how this could be the relationship and partnership that I am looking for in life. You know, at first I was very cautious given my experiences, and I was trying to stay grounded and not, let it get to me. But it did. I was trying to take things slow, and even with me being very cautious and trying to not get too excited, deep within I did. Once again, and this was last year the case with my ex as well, I thought that this person is gonna be the one, and he wasn't, and I didn't see it. Until he completely abruptly ended things and tried to blame it on me, that I am the reason why this is not gonna work, whereas it wasn't my fault, and it was a very narcissistic trait to try to put it on me and blame it on me. And yeah, it was a very short, I mean, it was a little bit longer than, it was around a month, and we only met a few times, like 6 times. But I had a very hard time moving on and letting go, especially because I just like didn't really get a closure, you know, and it happens most of the times that you just don't get the closure that you need. I didn't have the closure because I didn't understand exactly what happened, and I can only assume and imagine what happened and why things happened the way they did. But basically what I told you is that in all likelihood this whole thing was a lie, and he was not the one, he was not the person he was telling me he is. That's the conclusion that we all came to. And it was very tough for me to feel so betrayed, to feel so backstabbed, to feel like after everything that I have been through with men and relationships, once again there was a new kind of experience where what I was not ready for, that I have not experienced before. So I didn't know, I was blind to it. I was so focused on, you know, trying to avoid an avoidant man which was my history of attracting and being with avoidant attached people. And so that was my like hyper focus, and I definitely like moved on from people who were that category very quickly, that I could learn very quickly. I should have put this in. I should have put this in with that, because this is also for my mom, a pack of socks. Okay, let's move on. There are a few things still. I have a puzzle for a 9-year-old girl in my family, and she's also getting this fine liner and brush pen set, which is, it's amazing. When I was her age, I would have loved to get something like this. It has 72 high quality dual fine liner and brush pens in all kinds of beautiful colors. I mean, I would love to have these myself. These are all the colors. So these two are going to the same 9-year-old girl, my relative. And let me try to wrap it. After that, I still tried one more time to date, but I was not in it. I didn't have my heart in it, and I didn't meet anyone who excited me during that last try. And so at the beginning of December, just recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, I finally also let go of dating. I was burned out, I needed a break, I needed to focus on finding a job, and now I finally did that, so I'm glad. I just couldn't do it anymore. It's so difficult, and it's so rare that you meet someone that you really connect with, and you have the same goals in life, the same view on the future, you share values, you share interests. Throughout these past 5 years since I live in Vienna and I have been dating, I only met just a few people. I would say 2, 3, 4 people, less than a handful of people, or a handful of people with whom I had it, or at least I thought I did. And even then, when you share values, you are good friends, you share interests, and you like spending time together, and you like each other, and all that. Even that is not gonna be enough because there still could be something missing. And it's just too difficult to also filter through all the people, because you're not gonna learn all of these just from a dating profile, and you're not gonna know all of these from 1 or 2 dates. You need to spend time with the person to learn, you know, if you share values, if you share interest, if you share a future plan or an idea about how you want to live your life. And as I get older, or as we both, I mean, also the men that I date are older, I feel like it's also getting more and more difficult to align with someone in this way, because everyone has their own ways already and so strong, and everyone wants the other person to fit into their life rather than trying to create a life together. I also let go of dating this year. And I don't know when I will be ready to go back to it again. In January, I will have to focus on starting my new job and just getting used to a new routine, getting used to new colleagues, getting used to a new balance in life and everything. And it probably won't fit into that to also put a lot of effort and attention into getting to know someone new, because it requires effort, it requires energy, it requires intention, and I'm someone who dates intentionally, and I'm not someone who's like, oh, let's see where it goes, let's go with the flow. Like, I'm just not that person. Okay, now I think I read this in a silly way. I shouldn't have read it like this. Anyway, whatever. So that's the last thing I think in 2024 that I let go of. This is not something that I let go of forever, of course. I will probably go back to the apps in a matter of months, but right now I enjoy not doing it. I enjoy having the mental capacity and the extra time to focus on myself, to do things that I enjoy. There was one thing this year that I enjoyed a lot. I also got a Lego. This is for a 7-8-year-old boy, the brother of the girl who is getting the puzzle and the fine liner. The younger brother is going to get this Lego. So I'm wrapping this. So there was one thing, which wasn't a new thing in 2024, but it was definitely a thing that I started to put way more effort and attention to in this year, and that is dancing. I dance salsa. Because of my breakup in early this year, I can thank my ex for this, because I probably wouldn't have, or maybe I wouldn't have gotten into it so much if it wasn't for the breakup. That was my kind of escape. Dancing was my escape. That is how I dealt with my emotions. That was the thing that brought joy into my life and still is. And I started to take way more classes. I started to go to social events, and I spent the whole summer going to social dancing and meeting a lot of new people and having fun with dancing and learning and just getting more comfortable with it. That's definitely a positive outcome of this year for me. It brought me a lot of joy, and I met a lot of amazing people this year. I made new friends through dancing. Just in November, I spent 4 days in Poland with a group of dancers that I know since a few months, or like since last year, for about a year. Some of them a bit longer, some of them a bit shorter. We're 10 people together, going to Poland and spending time together, and it was really great. I really enjoyed it. I made new friends from all age groups. I made friends who are like still students, and you know, they're in a very different stage of their lives. I made friends with people who are closer in age to me, or very close in age to me, but somehow still have very different life experiences than me, so I could like learn or like it's very interesting to get to know their story and kind of not learn, well, I guess you can also learn from it, but just in general to gain new perspectives. And so I did that, and that was good. But that was probably the only, because it's not one thing, because dancing is one thing, and then making new friends and having a new community that you like to spend time with is another thing. But I definitely also grew a lot this year and learned about what I like. I focused so much more on myself and stopped pouring into other people, especially people that don't give me the attention or the affection or the effort that I would like to receive. If a relationship is not reciprocal, if I feel like that I'm putting way more into it than the other party, this is gonna be something from this time onwards where I'm just not going to be interested in pursuing them. I just stopped pursuing people, which I did before a lot. I was just trying to convince people of my worth and how great I am. The same happened with my ex. I definitely thought that, just pouring into him, giving him attention, doing things for him is going to make him, appreciate me more and fall in love with me, which is definitely not the case, and I had to learn that. So now I'm not doing things for people just to gain their affection. Like, they should like me for who I am as a person and not for what I do for them. That's a big learning point this year. I still have a few things to wrap, but I think I spoke way too much and this video is going to be extremely long. So I'm just going to show you what else I have. I have this projector light, 2-in-1. It has like different color modes, and then it also has like the covers you can switch. You can have one with a unicorn, or you can have another one with butterflies, so different films that you can put on the top, and then it will project it in the room. And I got this for a friend of mine who has a 1.5-year-old, so this is for the 1.5-year-old toddler. And then my friend, actually, I just realized I also ordered a book for my friend. She loves to read, but it never arrived, so I'm not sure it's gonna arrive on time. I don't know what's gonna happen, but basically her kid's gift is here and her gift is lost. It hasn't been delivered, so I don't know, I have to look into that. But anyway, thank you so much for tagging along. I hope you enjoyed this rant and this wrap up about my year of 2024. I would be happy to read your 2024 experiences if you have any experiences similar to mine, or let me know what you learned this year and what are your intentions for 2025, what you are going to let go of in 2024 and leave in this year, and what is a new thing that you want to incorporate in your life next year. I would be happy to read your comments, and thank you for your support this year. Thank you for watching my videos. I don't know how it's gonna continue from now on with me having 2 part-time jobs and having to go to an office, which is something that I haven't done in 3 years, going to an office every day. I will probably have less time to make videos, so YouTube is something that I will have to figure out. At some point I was also thinking of letting go of YouTube, but I couldn't, so let's see how will that go. I appreciate you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.